Students no longer read, they now press phone, practically blaming the students for the failure of some other persons.
The operatives of the Nigerian Police Force, the Department of State Security, have arrested 20 suspected hackers for allegedly hacking the 2025 computer-based Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam UTME exercise. The suspects were apprehended during operations in the nation's capital, Abuja. They were believed to be part of a syndicate of about 100 people who specialize in hacking computer servers of exam bodies like JAMB and NECO.
Okay, still talking JAMB, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says 17,025 candidates, representing 0.88% of the total 1,931,467, scored 300 and above in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). JAMB disclosed this yesterday in its report, while releasing the results of candidates who wrote the receipt examination. Well, of the 336,845 candidates rescheduled for the examination, the board said 21,082 others were absent.
Well, would they not be absent? JAMB did tell us that the people who received the exams are those who had problems in their centers. But so many of these young people went to those centers, logged in their data, and they got a fresh
notification.
venue. Exactly. So it means that the information had been issued was faulty. Because I'm speaking also from experience. I was saying no, don't go and check. Don't go and check until a relation called to say just try check whether you be part of those that will be writing the exams. So I'm really sympathetic for these young people because they read so much, they have dreams of going to the high institution with their colleagues, and then you just throw it out of the window, and then you now blame them at the end of the day. It's really sad. This year's JAMB was just a mess. Indeed. And I think that we really need to sit down, analyze, so that we cannot make this same mistake in the coming elections. I'm waiting to see candidates check up their results so that we see whether there was a mass failure or they decided to give them bonanza. We need to see that. Oh yeah.
Well, all of a sudden we're hearing that the DSS and the police have arrested hackers. If there wasn't an uproar, if certain persons did not take note of a trend, an ugly trend in this year's results, would we be hearing of the arrest of hackers by the DSS and the police? The answer is no. As a nation, we are usually docile. We don't do things we're supposed to do until things get out of hand. All of a sudden, we start doing things that we ought to have done long ago. Well, the good thing is that the hackers have been arrested. Let's see how it goes. 20 just within Abuja. Is it also possible that we have hackers outside Abuja? For instance, in major cities like Lagos, Port Harcourt. So we should learn a serious lesson from this year's ugly incident as far as JAMB is concerned, and hopefully correct the mistakes from this year's messy JAMB. Imagine over 20,000 candidates missing their exams out of no fault of theirs, because the truth is,
and mostly from the southeast.
That's it. Many students were taken unawares with the rescheduling. Some people had traveled. There was no way they could make it to their CBT centers. Yes. Yeah. So unfortunately, JAMB did not take all this into consideration. But let's also not forget that the registrar, while trying to do damage control, had said they would do a mop-up exam. So if you are one of the over 20,000 that missed the recently concluded exam, put your ears to the ground, hopefully that JAMB would keep to its word and conduct a mop-up exam. And as for the pass mark, and let me surprise you, JAMB has actually released it. Out of the over 300,000 that sat for the exam, the body said 200,000 made over 200. 200,000 of that number made over 200. So if people
Are
had
you
not,
sure he's not trying to
well,
compensate us?
for me, it is damage control.
I know,
It is
I
obvious.
know.
But the thing is, if people had not shouted, if people had not screamed, if people had not complained, the
It's true.
initial impression,
It's true.
especially that created by the education minister, was that students no longer read, they now press phone, practically blaming the students for the failure of some other persons.